Cruising after 65? These 9 new cruise costs will catch you off guard. If you have not sailed since 2019 or 2020, you may be in for a financial shock on your next booking. The cost of cruising has changed dramatically in the last few years, and not all of the changes are obvious from the booking page. Some of the biggest increases are costs that used to be small or completely free that have quietly grown into real expenses. Here are 9 new cruise costs that catch senior cruisers off guard more than any others right now. Number 1. Daily gratuity charges are much higher than you remember. If your mental benchmark for cruise gratuities comes from a sailing before 2022, you are almost certainly budgeting too low. Most major cruise lines have raised their automatic gratuity rates significantly over the past 3 years, and many did it without much announcement. Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, and MSC now charge $20 or more per person per day in automatic gratuities. Carnival recently increased its rate to $18 per person per day for standard cabins. That number rises for suites and premium categories across nearly every line. A couple sailing on a 10-day Caribbean cruise now pays $360 to $440 in gratuities alone, on top of whatever else they spend during the sailing. Senior cruisers who book based on the cabin fare and then mentally add what gratuities used to cost are often surprised when the final folio is presented. The charge hits your account every day during the sailing, which means it compounds quietly in the background while you are enjoying the ship. Before you book, ask the cruise line for the current standard gratuity rate per person per day. Multiply by the number of passengers in your cabin and by the number of sailing days. Add that total to your budget before you consider it confirmed. At these rates, gratuities are effectively a service fee, not an optional courtesy, and they are not going away. The next cost also shows up on your daily folio, whether you expected it or not, and it involves something you probably never needed to pay for on a cruise before. Number 2. Wi-Fi has gone from optional to nearly essential. A few years ago, paying for internet on a cruise ship was a personal choice. You either bought a package for convenience or enjoyed a digital detox for the week. That choice is disappearing fast on most major lines. And for senior cruisers who are not naturally app-dependent, the shift is happening faster than many realize. Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Norwegian, and Disney have moved significant portions of the onboard experience to smartphone apps. Menus in the main dining room are now accessed by scanning a QR code on many ships. Entertainment schedules, excursion bookings, and activity reservations are all managed through the cruise app, which requires an active internet connection to function. If you do not have a Wi-Fi package, many of these features simply do not work. Wi-Fi packages on most major lines now run $25 to $35 per device per day. For a 10-day sailing, that adds $250 to $350 per device. For a couple needing 2 devices, that is $500 to $700 in internet costs for one cruise. Before you sail, ask which app features work without a paid internet package. Some lines allow the shipboard scheduling and dining features to run on local ship Wi-Fi at no charge. Others require the full paid package for everything. Know the answer before you board, so it is not a surprise at check-in. But the next cost involves something you almost certainly used to get for free, and it happens before you even leave your cabin in the morning. Number 3. Room service now carries a delivery fee on most lines. For decades, room service on cruise ships was complimentary. It was one of the things that made cruising feel genuinely luxurious, especially for senior travelers who enjoy a quiet breakfast on the balcony or a light meal after a long shore excursion day. That era is largely over. Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, MSC, and several other lines have introduced delivery fees for room service, typically between $5 and $9.95 per order. Some lines also apply a service charge on top of that. Holland America, Celebrity, and Princess have taken various approaches, with some charging for certain items while offering a basic continental option without a fee. For senior cruisers who use room service regularly, the cost adds up quickly. 2 orders per day across a 10-day sailing at $7.95 each adds over $150 to the final bill, not counting the additional tip many passengers leave on top of the delivery fee. The policy varies by ship and itinerary, so check the specific fee structure for your sailing before you board. If room service is an important part of your cruise experience, budget for it the same way you would a specialty dining meal. It is no longer a free amenity on most ships sailing today. And if you are planning shore excursions, the next cost will affect almost every port you visit. Number 4. Shore excursion prices have jumped 25 to 40% since 2019. Senior cruisers who have been booking the same shore excursions for years are consistently surprised by how much prices have increased. The excursion you paid $89 for in 2019 very likely costs $119 or $139 through the same cruise line today. Some popular excursions have gone up even more. Several factors have driven the increases. Port destination fees charged by local governments have risen sharply at popular Caribbean, Mediterranean, and Alaskan ports. Transportation costs for local tour operators have increased significantly. Staffing costs in key destination countries have also risen, and cruise lines pass these increases directly to passengers. The impact for a couple on a 7-day cruise taking one excursion per port day is significant. At $130 per person per excursion, 5 port days cost $1,300 for 2. The same itinerary might have cost $900 in 2019. That $400 difference matters on a fixed income. If you have visited a port before, consider booking directly through a local operator rather than through the cruise line. Independent operators typically charge 20 to 40% less for comparable tours. Just ensure your excursion returns to the dock at least 60 minutes before your posted sailing time. The next item involves a cost that many senior cruisers forget to calculate until they are already at the terminal. Number 5. Cruise terminal parking rates have increased sharply. Senior cruisers who drive to the terminal and park for the sailing are paying significantly more than they did just a few years ago. Official terminal parking rates at major U.S. home ports have increased 40 to 60% since 2019 at many locations. Port Canaveral now runs around $20 to $22 per day for official terminal parking. Fort Lauderdale cruise terminals charge $20 to $25 per day. Galveston charges $15 to $20 depending on the area, with covered parking at a premium. For a 10-day sailing, parking alone can cost $200 to $250 before you step onto the gangway. Off-site parking with shuttle service is consistently cheaper, typically $10 to $14 per day, but reliability varies. Book early, read recent reviews, and confirm shuttle times for both your departure morning and your return disembarkation day. If you are sailing from a port near your home, also price out a rideshare or taxi pickup and return. For many local senior cruisers, that total comes out lower than 10 days of terminal parking. Now here is one that affects every senior cruiser, regardless of how they get to the ship. Number 6. Specialty restaurants are no longer included on many lines. If you sail on a line you last cruised several years ago, some specialty restaurants that were included in your fare may now carry a cover charge. This is especially common on Norwegian, MSC, and several lines that have restructured what their dining packages include over the past few years. Norwegian's Free at Sea promotion, which many senior cruisers rely on for value, now includes specialty dining at specific restaurants, but not all venues. Some outlets that were previously covered are now charge restaurants. MSC has reorganized its included dining model in ways that have confused returning passengers. Carnival and Royal Caribbean have added new premium dining venues carrying cover charges of $35 to $75 per person on top of the fare already paid. The safest approach is to review the specific dining policy for your ship and sailing before you board. Do not assume that what was included on your last sailing is still included today. If specialty dining is important to your cruise experience, read the current policy on the cruise line's website or ask your travel agent to confirm exactly what is and is not covered before you finalize your plans. But the next cost is one that many senior cruisers delay thinking about until after they have already booked. Number 7. Travel insurance costs more now, and seniors need more of it. Comprehensive travel insurance for cruise passengers has increased in price across most providers over the past 3 years, and the increase is steeper for travelers over 65. Age-tiered pricing means a policy covering medical evacuation, trip cancellation, and interruption for a senior traveler costs meaningfully more than the same coverage for a younger passenger. Medical evacuation from a cruise ship can cost $50,000 to $150,000 without insurance. Onboard medical center fees have risen sharply. A cabin visit for a consultation, a prescription, or treatment for a minor issue now runs $200 to $500 on most ships, billed at the time of service regardless of your regular health insurance back home. Senior cruisers who buy the cruise line's own insurance sometimes find it offers less medical coverage than an independent policy and includes significant exclusions for pre-existing conditions unless specific waiver conditions were met at time of purchase. Compare at least 2 independent travel insurance policies before you sail and read the pre-existing condition waiver terms carefully. For senior cruisers managing ongoing health conditions, the difference between a policy that covers those conditions and one that excludes them can determine whether an emergency at sea costs you $500 or $50,000. The next item is one that surprises solo senior cruisers most of all. Number 8. Solo travelers are still paying some of the highest premiums in cruise pricing. For senior travelers sailing alone, the single supplement fee remains one of the most significant costs in cruise pricing. Most cruise lines price their cabins based on double occupancy. When a single traveler books that cabin, the line charges a supplement, typically 50 to 100% of the per-person fare, to cover the revenue they would have collected from a second passenger. For a senior widow or widower booking a 10-day Caribbean cruise at a base fare of $1,200 per person, the single supplement can add $600 to $1,200 to the total cost, before gratuities, excursions, and anything spent on board. That is a significant financial penalty for choosing to travel at all. Some lines have made genuine progress here. Norwegian introduced studio cabins designed specifically for solo travelers with no single supplement. Holland America, Celebrity, and others periodically offer reduced or waived supplement promotions, particularly for shorter sailings. These promotions are worth actively watching for. If you are sailing solo, ask specifically about studio or solo cabin categories before you accept any standard quote. The difference in total costs can be substantial, and not every booking agent will mention that option unless you ask directly. Number 9. Whether you buy a drink package or pay per drink, you are paying more than before. Senior cruisers who enjoy a glass of wine at dinner or an occasional cocktail at the pool bar have noticed that both options have gotten significantly more expensive since 2019. The decision between buying a drink package and paying as you go has gotten harder and more costly either way. Individual cocktail prices on Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, and MSC now run $13 to $18 per drink before the automatic 18 to 20% gratuity added at the bar. A glass of house wine is $10 to $13. 2 drinks per day for a couple across a 10-day sailing, including gratuity, adds $300 to $440 to the total bill. Drink packages have also increased. Premium packages on Royal Caribbean and Norwegian now run $90 to $110 per person per day. For senior cruisers who have 1 or 2 drinks daily, the math rarely works in your favor. Run the numbers based on your actual drinking habits before purchasing any package at booking. If you prefer wine with dinner and nothing else, ask whether the line offers a wine package priced per bottle rather than a full drink package. Several lines do offer this option, and for moderate wine drinkers, a per-bottle package often delivers better value than a daily package or individual bar prices across a full sailing. Cruise pricing has changed more in the last 4 years than in the previous decade. Some of these costs are small individually, but add up fast across a full sailing. A couple on a 10-day cruise who is not accounting for current gratuity rates, Wi-Fi, room service fees, and excursion price increases can easily underestimate their total by $1,000 or more. The fare on the booking page is the starting point, not the whole picture. Know what is coming, budget for it, and the cruise will be everything you hoped for. Subscribe to Cruise Smart for honest cruise advice every week, and leave a comment below with the words Cruise Smart so we know you are part of this community.